Jam! Hello again and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on the MTG Cast Network. I am Chewie.
Hi, Chewie.
Hi. Buddy. And that was Squee.
Hi, Chewie.
Hi. And the other one is Cluze.
Excelsior!
Hi, Cluze.
What up?
Not much.
I don't know what that was all about, but okay then. So, yes. Monday Night Magic.
It's Monday. It's night.
It is Monday.
It's magic.
Yes. Do you believe in magic in a
And I hope you do.
heart?
It's either going to be that or it's going to be the McDonald's parody.
Or it's going to be in Nashville, not
I
Dublin.
don't believe in the magic in that.
Do you believe in Nashville?
I've never seen it.
I know two people that live just outside it on different sides of it, so I'm pretty sure it's real.
So we've surrounded Nashville is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
We have combat advantage, yes.
Yeah. So this is going to be the Pro Tour Amonkhet episode because nothing else happened.
Yep.
At exactly what point did Pro Tours stop being named after the city that they're in?
Like 3 years ago?
Yeah, something like that, 2 or 3.
Wow.
That's part of the reason they started telling us the set names in advance.
What was before Khans of Tarkir? I can't, my magic timeline is not coming up in my head.
Before Khans? Was that Theros block?
Okay, it was before that because I remember there being a Pro Tour Theros. I'm pretty sure.
Was there a Pro Tour Return to Ravnica? I don't think so.
Pro Tour Return to Ravnica? Yeah, it looks like there was.
Okay.
So what was before that? Was it Battle for Zendikar?
That came later. Before Return to Ravnica was Innistrad. Because they announced Return to Ravnica and it completely overshadowed Avacyn Restored.
Have they gone back and changed these names to Pro Tour Set instead of Pro Tour City? Or has it been that long and we don't remember?
It's possible. It's been a while.
Okay, what was before Shadows?
For Shadows over Innistrad,
That was Battle for Zendikar.
Battle for Zendikar was after they swapped over to the half a year thing. That was only like a year and a half ago.
Oh, you said Zendikar was before.
Oh no, Battle for Zendikar was last year. No, I said Innistrad came before.
Oh, and I did Shadows.
Right. So we were talking about different sets with similar names because that's what WotC does.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Wikipedia article because that's where all knowledge comes from. Or goes to? Or is reference from. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
The first Pro Tour to have a set associated with it, whatever exactly that means, was Pro Tour Dark Ascension, which was in Honolulu, which I thought was called Pro Tour Honolulu.
I thought it was too.
2012.
Well,
Okay.
there have been lots of Pro Tours in Honolulu, so I'm sure there were Pro Tour Honolulus.
Right.
Like Khans of Tarkir was Honolulu.
Yeah. Okay.
As
So
was
we've
Cali.
been doing this for 5 years is what you're telling us.
Maybe.
Cool. Well, here we are in Pro Tour, not Dublin.
So wait, what was before Dark Ascension was Innistrad? Okay, so what was
Yeah.
before Innistrad? We can do this with a quick search.
That was Scars of Mirrodin.
I know there wasn't a Pro Tour Scars of Mirrodin. Yeah, that was Pro Tour Nagoya. Okay, so Dark Ascension was the first one to have a set associated with it, and it looks like it might have been the first one to have that name.
Could
There
be.
you go. How did we get off on this?
It's all you, buddy.
I think I asked the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm only a little bit sorry.
Well, there you go then.
We are
people-
that strapped for news.
It's true. And I wanted to know because it used to be Pro Tour City Year. That's just what it was. And then they decided marketing made it so that you had to have Pro Tour set name.
Which made things like Pro Tour Magic 2015 kind of dumb.
Yeah, well, you know.
Because it was in 2014.
So, Pro Tour, right. Well, Jerry Thompson won.
Good on him.
So that's a thing. Check that out. Wow. Let's see here. He has not won Pro Tour before. He top 8'd Gatecrash. Right. Okay. And he was playing Mono Black Zombies. It's really weird to see all of these tribal decks Because this is some nonsense that you see, us casual players play. Oh, dude, especially if you started back around the time I did, which was Onslaught, which was a tribal set.
All about that tribal.
Like everyone had a freaking zombie tribal deck in our large group of players back then, to the point where is anyone going to play zombies? Because I want to play zombies. Because it just wasn't fair for everyone else if there were two people.
Yeah, because that was also back when all the cards that cared about zombies weren't your zombies.
Yeah, it was zombies on the battlefield. And in a 6-player game, if there are two people playing zombies, it's really a 2-player game.
Yeah.
So
multiple people playing slivers had the same problem.
That's way worse, though.
Yeah.
So, the Mono Black Zombies deck is playing some of your... Because this is the newest deck to show up. It's playing some of your standard good zombie cards, Crypt Breaker, Relentless Dead, Diregraph Colossus,
so big
Dark
zombie.
Salvation. Of course, it's playing Fatal Push and Grasp of Darkness. And then we've got the new cards, Dread Wanderer, Lord of the Accursed. Oh look, a Zombie Lord. You know what's better than a Zombie Lord?
Lord of the Dance?
No, 2 Zombie Lords. So we're also
Which
playing...
is why you have 4.
Yeah, we're also playing Metallic Mimic, though.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Liliana's Mastery, because that's a Zombie Lord on an enchantment that makes zombies.
Yeah, it does a pretty good job of making what it calls two black zombie creature tokens, but it's making 3/3 zombies, plus whatever else nonsense you got going on.
Oh, yeah. It's also got 2 Westvale Abbeys in the deck, because, damn it, that's funny.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. It's really simple and straightforward, actually. It looks like a deck that I could have come up with, which is weird.
It's like zombie good stuff.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we need just the best zombies. Oh, this enchantment and this sorcery. Oh, and we probably need some spot removal. Fatal Push, Grasp of Darkness. Okay, cool.
Because it's mono black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to care.
So that's first place. Second place, we've got none other than Yuya Watanabe playing the Teamer Aetherworks Marvel deck. Get used to hearing that. You're gonna be hearing it a lot.
Yeah.
There are a few variations. Yuya's is running 3 Ulamog, a Torrential Gear Hulk. It's got Whirler Virtuoso, I can't say that word, and Rogue Refiner. Attune with Ether, of course. Assorted good stuff spells, Censor, Dissenters, Deliverance. These cycle and do a thing that you need them to do. Harness Lightning, Negate, Causal X Return, Glimmer of Genius, the stuff you'd expect. The Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, and of course the Aetherworks Marvel. Yeah, there you go. The whole point, Marvel into Ulamog.
Yep.
With everything else just sort of being there to help out.
That seems marvelous.
Yeah. I mean, second place in Pro Tour is Marvel Us. Hey, speaking of Marvel, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 this weekend because that's what Mom wanted to do for Mother's Day.
That's awesome.
It was.
Hey, when is Chewie's mom going to open some packs?
We were actually talking about that after the movie. We're working on it.
I'm glad you didn't talk about it during the movie. That'd make you a jerk.
It would, yeah. And there were 2 trailers because the theater that we went to doesn't do like the whole string of trailers. And it was Thor Ragnarok and The Last Jedi. I was like, best 2 trailers.
Well, if you're only going to pick 2, I would pick those 2.
My theater did trailers for 25 minutes. It was really annoying given how long the movie was.
Was the movie long? I didn't notice.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something.
That's not long, you wuss.
No, but with 25 minutes of trailers leading into it, it becomes a lot longer.
Wuss?
That is also true.
And 15 post-credit scenes?
Well, you have to stay for all of them or you're a fool.
It's true. By the way, Cluze, when you see it, there are a lot.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I just need to know one thing, okay? And I don't think we're necessarily spoiling it for a lot of people. How many of the post-credit scenes feature Howard the Duck?
Should we tell him?
I'm trying to remember if he was in any of the post-credit scenes.
You can just type it here if you need to, so we don't give it away to other people.
He appears during the credits, but not as you expect.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's anyway, good enough. I guess I'll go see it now.
As well you should. So moving on In third place.
In third place. Henceforth, at the Pro Tour, there will be first,
In the
second,
tertiary position.
and third.
So, in third place, we have Ken Yukihiro, who is playing the black-green energy deck, which is pretty much the same deck as it was before, but now with 4 copies of Bone Picker, known to Mana Pool fans as the card that killed that episode of the Mana Pool.
I mean, Bone Picker is pretty effective as a miserable experience to go up against.
Oh, wow, okay. Now I see what the artwork is.
The white buzzard.
Yeah, at first I was just trying to make a shape out of this black bit of his wing that flows into his head. And I'm like, what in the world is that? It's some kind of weird dragon thing in the distance. Oh, no, wait, there's the bird. Okay, never mind.
All right, then.
Here.
Magic art on these tiny pop-up windows is sometimes really funny.
Which is terrible because a lot of this artwork is amazing.
Yeah. I really actually like the landscape on Bone Picker. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bone Picker, for those that don't know, is the 1-mana 3/2 flying death touch. I guess in a pinch you could cast it for 4, but I'm pretty sure you're doing it wrong if you did.
I mean, that's not the goal, but if nothing is dying in this deck, then your opponent is mana screwed, so you might as well kill them.
That is a good point. So then in fourth, are these are in order, right? Yeah, okay. In fourth place, Martin Mueller. Mueller? It's got
I always thought it was Mueller.
Okay, we'll go with that. Is playing a different version of the Teamer Aetherworks Marvel deck. He's running 4 Chandra Flamecaller in third place.
Flamecaller.
Flamecaller would be something very different.
Instead of having fire, she's got the light up things. She's signaling.
She's just directing them to land.
Oh yeah, she's.
Oh my god. But yeah,
and then once they land, she probably lets them on fire.
Probably. Because she's that kind of plain color. So Chandra Flamecaller, and he's also running 2 Ether Meltdowns because vehicles.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's pretty neat.
The deck that needs no new cards.
In 5th place, we have Chris Fennell, who's running white-black zombies. So this one is running...
cards.
Yeah, this one is running... It's the same deck. It's running the dual lands, Concealed Courtyard, and Shambling Vent, and some planes, of course. But it's running Wayward Servant and Binding Mummy.
Yeah, so I know that by the numbers, the mono black zombies deck did better this weekend. And of course, it did take the top spot. But I really like this Wayward Servant card.
So he's not... What's he not running? He's not running the Metallic Mimic. And he looks like he's not running Restless Dead.
And there's no Grasp.
And there's no Grasp. I have lost the white-black. Here it is. Oh, he's got Anguished Unmake. Ooh.
Yeah, I almost moused over Transgress in the sideboard there.
He's got the full 4 Fatal Push and then 2 Anguished Unmaking. Damn.
And another one in the sideboard.
Oh, hey, look at that. Oh, and he's got Gideon in the sideboard. Ally of Zendikar Gideon.
If you're splashing white, you may as well have a Gideon.
Yeah, right?
I mean, 4 Gideons probably changed the feel of the game a lot.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, so it's a very similar deck, but I'm sure it plays a lot more differently than you'd think.
I would think so. It can afford to go a little bit slower because of the Binding Mummy.
Yeah.
The Binding Mummy to slow it down a little bit. The Wayward Servant and the Crypt Breaker to give you an alternate way to kill them. Could matter if it gets bogged down.
Carry on, my Wayward Servant.
That card is ridiculous and sealed.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, and those who don't know, just in case we didn't, I remember listening to Magic podcasts back when I was starting, and they would name cards. I'm like, I have no idea what that card does. None whatsoever. This is great. I can't wait to hear more. Wayward Servant costs a white and a black for a 2/2. He's a zombie, of course. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, which seems decent if you're, making zombies.
Yeah, Liliana's Mastery for 5 mana now says make 2 3/3s and
they
suck 2
lose
life
2,
out of your
gain
opponent.
2.
Yeah.
Yep. And Diregraph Colossus just laughs.
Zombie, dead. Aw.
Yeah, this is Honestly, it's a pretty straightforward tribal type deck, like Chewie was saying before. Like, if you played during lore when this kind of stuff happened all the time, like, all these things do something, so as long as you're not drawing land off the top, you're somehow impacting the world. Because nothing is just a creature that you play, it all does something.
Exactly. So let's move on to Mark Tobias. Tobias.
Of the Tobiyashi Maru.
I was trying hard not to go that way with the pronunciation, but I think that was actually influencing me. And I don't know, what is that even from? It's not coming to me now.
It's from Wrath of Khan.
Right, thank you. Which I've still never seen, but I know that.
Wait, what?
You might know it from Next Generation and all the other times it shows up in Star Trek.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the test, right?
Yeah, it's the unwinnable scenario.
There we go. Got it. I knew it sounded familiar for some reason. Okay, anyway. So yeah, he's running a more different Teamer Aetherworks Marvel deck. This one is much heavier on the creatures, with Ulamogs and Rogue Refiners and Servant of the Conduit and Virtuoso and Shielded Ether Thief and Tireless Tracker. Damn.
It's also rocking the Magma Spray.
It's also rocking the Magma Spray and 3 Chandra Torch of Defiance. As opposed to...
For some reason, I now have Rock the Magma to the tune of Rock the Casbah in my head. And I know someone else out there does too. Steve, stop singing it on the bus. People will look at you weird. More weird.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, you're right. This is Chandra Torch of Defiance rather than Chandra the Caller of Plains.
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me that Chandra Flamecaller is the old version. Huh. Neat.
And Flamecaller is in the board.
Oh, look at that. 1 copy in the board. Alright then. Then we go to next place. I think this is 7th. Christian Calcano is running the Mono Black Zombies deck that is very similar to Jerry T's.
Yeah.
Like, very similar.
They might be the same. No. I don't know why the order is different, but I think that's...
-1 fatal... Jerry T is running 1 less fatal push and 1 more Liliana's Mastery.
Oh, right, okay.
There we go. So that's that. And then Eric Froelich in 8th place is running another Teamer Aetherworks Marvel. This one is got a Torrential Gear Hulk thrown in with more spells.
And no Chandras.
Yeah. More similar to Yu-Yu Watanabe's, but not quite. Not that many spells.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's the top 8.
And just as a reminder for people, this is a mixed format Pro Tour, so...
Like all Pro Tours are.
Yeah, like all of them are. And therefore, the decks that win are not necessarily the best decks, but in order to get there, they obviously have to be incredibly good decks. You have to go to the listing of just standard decks to get a better sense of what's going on there, too.
Yeah, so, which we're actually gonna do. So, decks that finished 9-1 in standard was just Chris Fennell's White Black Zombies and Yuta Takahashi's Teamer Aetherworks Marvel. So, which one is
already in progress?
Which one is Takahashi running? His is more like Yuya's, just... Actually, his is more like Frolics, it looks like, just without the Gear Hulk.
Yeah, and no Chandra at all.
In the board, yeah. So let's see. 8-1-1 was a Teamer Aetherworks Marvel with Torch of Defiance and more creatures. 8-2 we have Mono Black Zombies, Blue-Red Control with Gear Hulks and Sweltering Suns and your usual counterspells and burn and card draw and Hieroglyphic Illumination, a card that I didn't even know existed.
4 of them.
It's instant speed, draw 2 cards for 4 mana with cycling of a single blue. So...
How much do you want more than 1 card?
Seems good. Let's see. More Mono Black Zombies. Here's the first Mardu vehicles. Sebastian Pozzo. Which is actually running 2 vehicles. Wow. Heart of Kirin and Cultivator's Caravan.
Yeah.
With Avacyn, no Dragon. Yeah. Veteran Motorist, Inspector, Exemplar, Scrap Heap Scrounger, PNLR. Oh, okay. Yeah. Here's a 4-color Aetherworks Marvel. Tamer, Sultai, Aetherworks Marvel that's running Liliana Death's Majesty, and Ishkana and Noxious Gearhulk. Buh. That's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Cause let's see here. I thought you may cast a card without paying its mana cost. Okay, that's what I thought. Neat. Okay. Here we go. A Teamer Energy deck that's running Channeler Initiate. Ooh, that guy. That guy's good.
Yeah, it is.
And Elder Deep Fiend, Glorybringer, Virtuoso, Bristling Hydra. Okay, yeah. More Mardu vehicles. This one with basically the same thing almost. Mono black zombies and mono black zombies, and that's it as far as decks that went 24 to 27 points in standard.
Diverse metagame.
So speaking of metagame, let's just go to the metagame breakdown. So on day one, there were 26% Mardu vehicles. No real surprise there with the kitties being eradicated.
No.
26% Aetherworks Marvel. 21% zombies. 8% were black and green and some other color maybe variants. 6% was Gearhulk Control and 13% was other. Other being things like 10 blue-white flash decks, 7 new perspectives combo decks, black-red mid-range, 5 of those, Dynavolt Tower, Jeskai Control, Jund Gods. Somebody big was playing Jund Gods, but I forget who because they didn't finish highly enough for it to pop up. Also, I didn't watch any of the actual coverage, so my bad.
Oh, that was going to be a follow-up question if either of you happened to catch any of the coverage.
Nope.
All right,
Well, I say that. I caught a little bit of it, but I didn't really stick with it until the launch day. I got kind of bored.
I was just busy. Sunday was Mother's Day, so I was with the family all day.
Well, I went to Chewie's Twitch channel to see what was up, and it was magic, and so I left.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's weird.
Right? You've reached that point.
So if you would like to see the day one metagame breakdown, there's a link in the show notes. And now the day two standard metagame breakdown, shows, what does stock Tamer Aetherworks mean?
As differentiated from Flame Color and Spell Heavy?
I guess so.
4-color and Bant and Sultai.
So it looks like this is close to what Eric Froelich was playing, is the stock version. Got it. Yeah, and then the spell heavy ones, which is what, was it Martin Mueller was playing? No, he was playing the other one. And my browser just crashed. So, hey guys, while I get this open again, talk about something.
Okay.
Sure.
The conversion rates are kind of interesting. I'm just going to give you some percentages here because we have all of the stuff you can see in the link. But the stock Teamer Aetherworks decks, day 1, 49 came in. Day 2, 34 came back. So that's 69%. Using that as a baseline, it's kind of interesting to see that was clearing away the most. Like that was 49 of them. 49 out of the total of 96 that showed up were in the stock. Hence the name, I guess. The spell heavy one had 14 show up and 12 made it to day 2. So it's pretty up there too. That's 86%.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, only 7 Flame Caller Teamer Aetherworks showed up, but all 7 of them made it back to day 3 or day 2. Day 3 is impossible because that's top 8. One of them made it there. Sultai Aetherworks, 15 came in, 10 actually made it. So that's 2/3. Bant was 5 on day 1, 3 came back for day 2. And 4 colors, 6 show up, 2 made it to day 2. So in total, when you add all this stuff together, of the 96 that show up for day 1, 68 of them made it to day 2, making up 71% of the field. Or 71% of those made it to day 2 of the field. Blah.
Right.
So, and what we're saying is that the Aetherworks decks are doing pretty good in this one weekend only metagame. Also bearing in mind that some people might have done well with these, but then whiffed out in the draft portion.
True.
That's why Pro Tours are complicated.
So then the second most popular, actually the most popular day 1 deck, the Mardu Vehicles deck, with 99 showing up, 57 came back for day 2. So there were 58% of those.
Yeah.
And then zombies. There were 78 of those between mono black and white black. And 72% of them made it back. So yeah, the good decks just sort of float to the top.
Note that that's 1% higher than the total of the Aetherworks decks.
Yes. So yeah, there are, there's a lot more information on here if you're interested. Of the new perspectives combos, for instance, of the 7, 3 of them made it to day 2, which is crazy to me. So we were looking at this, before we started the episode. So new perspectives, in case you're unaware, because this deck is a trip. For 5 and a blue, it's an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards. And then as long as you have 7 or more cards in hand, you can pay 0 rather than pay cycling costs. So as long as you have 7 cards in hand, or 4 cards in hand, you can cycle stuff for free forever. Because cycling is discard this to draw cards, so yeah. You always end up back at 7. And it uses cards like the Shefet Monitor and the Vizier of Tumbling Sands to get new lands and untap them. And then you use Shadow of the Grave to return to your hand all cards in your graveyard that you cycled or discarded this turn. And apparently, the win condition is, or some of the win conditions were, let's just Approach of the Second Sun twice in the same turn. Which costs 14 mana, but then you win. So, you know.
They usually cost about 14 mana, right?
Actually, you're probably right.
Emrakul costs 15 mana for the 3 times people have actually cast Emrakul properly.
3 times ever? Yeah, probably.
They're probably elf decks.
So, yeah. That's a thing. But yeah, for all of this information, you can totally check out this link. It's here. Scrolling down, the 25 most played cards in Day 2 decks. The winners were Aether Hub and Fatal Push, far above everyone else.
No one is surprised.
Next up is Scrap Heap Scrounger. And then Attune with Ether. And then Transgress the Mind.
Don't look at the next one. Don't look at the next one.
It's too late. I already did. Oh, he's reaching through the back of his head and out of his mouth.
Oh, look, I'm not
That's the opposite of eating.
For a reason.
So if you're wondering about the new cards, well, let's go look at that. In Day 2, the number 1 played card was Dread Wanderer, followed by Magma Spray, followed by Lord of the Accursed, followed by Liliana's Mastery. Are you seeing a trend here?
Ooh, they're all in Amonkhet.
Followed by Dispossess, which I'm sure is a sideboard superstar. And then the Black-Red Dual Land. Canyon. Wait, how do you pronounce that one?
Slew?
Slew, there we go, thank you. Yeah. So that's a lot. And the list goes on. There's some nifty stuff on here like Bounty of the Luxa. What deck is playing Bounty of the Luxa? Because there were 46 that made Day 2. And I seem to have accidentally closed the 24 to 27 point decks. Control F. Luxa. None of them are in the 24 to 27 point decks.
Well, there you go. That's why we don't know.
I would have thought it would be in the Teamer deck or something.
Well, now I'm curious. But what's playing Bounty of the Luxa? Control F. Looks. Okay, here we go. Most commonly... Oh, okay, some of the Teamer Aetherworks decks are running it.
Yeah.
Bounty of the Luxa or Nissa's Revelation to ramp out Ulamog, in case you couldn't Marvel him out.
Right.
Well, how about that? I'm sure some of these other, rando decks were running some too. Just, I can't be bothered to go dig through the rando decks.
Sure.
So yeah, there you go.
There's a lot of data from this Pro Tour for the people that want to mine it.
Yeah, I gotta say, big shout out to Frank Karsten and the folks on coverage who put this together. Because, my God, there is so much information on this Day 2 metagame breakdown.
Well done. All right, then. I guess, is that it for the Pro Tour?
It's all I got.
Yeah, I can't think of much else.
I mean, the only thing that's a little bit surprising is the surprising lack of control, I guess, is the way to phrase it. We've got combo-y decks, we've got aggro-y decks. There were some control decks that converted today too, but they did not do so well. Now, on the one hand, that's fine by me. I don't care for control decks. But on the other hand, a two-pillared standard is a little strange.
It wasn't like a counter spell, draw a lot of cards control. It was all of these black decks are running a ton of murder and can also kill you with zombies or whatever else too. Like, there's nothing really concentrated there because they're dealing with all these other things. Like, what, you're going to play the long game against Aetherworks? I mean, they're probably okay with that.
Okay, in the 21 to 23 point standard decks, I did find a Sultai Aetherworks deck that had Bounty of the Luxa in the sideboard. And then Tiago Saporito had one in his main, in his Teamer Aetherworks deck. And then Tyler Hill had two in his main and one in his board, in his Teamer Aetherworks deck. So they're out there. I mean, there are some control decks, it's just not a large percentage of the field.
Yeah, it's there, but on the same note, you're going into Pro Tour weekend, you're going to take the deck that you really feel like is going to get there. And when you just look at the raw synergy going on in the zombie deck and the explosive potential when you roll the dice with the Aetherworks deck, those are both known qualities, and we haven't really had a lot of gung-ho control since, Flash went away. So this is probably not where you want to try to pioneer new control.
Yeah. Oh, it was Patrick Dickman was running the Jund Gods deck. It's in the 21 to 23 point standard list. He's running Ronus and Hazaret in main deck. He's also got two Prowling Serpopards in his board.
Cat Snake.
This is a strange deck. Greenbelt Rampager, Voltaic Brawler, Scrap Heap Scrounger, Long Tusk Cub, Bristling Hydra, attune with Ether. So you're like, okay, it's an energy deck. But then Heart of Kirin, Fatal Push, Blossoming Defense, Unlicensed Disintegration, Glorybringer, Hazaret, Ronus. Let's just put all this cool stuff in a deck and smash people.
I mean, that's how I make decks.
That's how Patrick Dickman made decks, and he ended up 7-1-2 in, nope, hang on, excuse me, I lied. Where is he? Here we go. He ended up 7-2-1 at a Pro Tour with two gods in his main. Neat. But anyway, all these decks are here for you to look at, so let's talk about something else.
Okay.
What else
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like there isn't news anymore because they shot it all at us the last few weeks. I can talk about Magic Online, or we can talk about Precision German Engineering.
I'm going to vote for Precision German Engineering.
It is pretty funny.
Okay, so the latest entry in the German card names are cooler than English card names category is the Harsh Mentor card, who in German is Harsher Mentor. That's just strictly better, right?
It is. That's totally an upgrade.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
I mean, what chance do we have? I'm sure that if I had to pick one of the two to put in my deck, I'd go with the harsher one. That's the entirety of the joke. All right, then.
All right, Magic Online.
All right, so the usual disclaimer applies. Magic Online news is generally posted on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We record on Mondays, hence the show name. So most of the stuff that I have here is kind of old. For starters, the Magic Online Weekly Updates article that I have in here is primarily discussing things that happened last weekend. Yay, go back in time. And while you're going back in time, you can jump in on the Throwback Standard Gauntlets that start May 17, run to the 24th. So this Wednesday through the following Wednesday. And for this gauntlet, they're going to take you back to Combo Winter, also known as What Have We Done? Oh God, this is terrible. Why would we do this on purpose? The Combo Winter is known for a large number of decks that do ridiculous nonsense that probably shouldn't do. I didn't play back then, but everyone I know who did play back then did not enjoy it. So, I don't know.
It's because of the Urza block, which was just insane.
Busted.
And I mean, Randy Bueller in the very first paragraph of his write-up here, the Urza block was, quite simply, broken. Deck designers all over the world were building new combo decks faster than the DCI could ban them, and people were killing each other as early as turn 1. In Standard.
So you know all the crap that people give Vintage? This is part of why. Decks that just go, oh, I won. By the way, I don't actually care if you mulliganed or not. You didn't get to play. So you got some of that crap going on here.
Yeah.
I haven't played these decks, so I'm not going to pretend to know what all of them do. Some of them are going to be kind of obvious, others not. One thing that I find entertaining about this list, though, is that there are some cards in it that don't function the way they used to anymore due to the various rules to Magic. So your Mog Fanatic and your Land Destruction Red deck is probably not going to do as much as it used to, since combat damage no longer uses the stack and hasn't since Magic 2010. So it's been a while now. So you might run into some funny stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, here's a bunch of decks that do horrible things. Yeah. And this is your opportunity to play them.
You've got, so a big thing about Combo Winter was, Voltaic Key, Grim Monolith, Thran Dynamo, Worn Power Stone. Like, Worn Power Stone costs 3, taps for 2 colorless, enters tapped. Thran Dynamo costs 4, taps for 3 colorless. Grim Monolith costs 2, taps for 3 colorless, but you can pay 4 to untap it. You have to pay 4 to untap it, because it doesn't untap normally.
So this all sounds like K, sure, but what's that other card do, Chewie?
Well, Voltaic Key says pay 1 and tap it to untap target artifact.
Ding.
And there's also Ancient Tomb to get you started. Let's not forget Ancient Tomb.
I love tapping my land for 2 mana.
Yeah, 2 colorless mana.
Always gonna be fair.
Have you considered Legacy?
No.
Oh, there's also City of Traders. Don't forget City of Traders.
Right. Better not play any more land.
Yeah, so... And that's just looking at the first deck, which is Kai Buddha's Wildfire deck, which could go, no kidding, turn 1 Covetous Dragon, which is a 5/5 flyer. 6/5 flyer, excuse me.
Yeah.
That's worse.
You mean better?
Yeah. And then you have, let's just run through these real quick. You want to?
Sure, we got time.
You've got Replenish, which, has lots of enchantments that end up getting sacrificed, and then you have Replenish and Opalescence. So Replenish gets all of your enchantments from your graveyard to the battlefield. Opalescence makes them all creatures with power and toughness equal to their converted mana cost.
Yeah, it's sick. Also, all these cards do things. Aside from everything else that they're doing, they're also having effects that are going to be miserable.
Yeah, like Parallax Wave, which has fading counters that exile creatures, and Parallax Tide that bounces things. Everything's awful. Everything
and
is
Parallax, which kills the DC universe.
That's
all kinds of.
But yeah, same basic idea. You've got the Tolarian Academy decks. I think this one, if this isn't Tommy Hovey's deck that won the Extended Pro Tour, then it is similar to it. So yeah, it uses things like Windfall and Time Spiral and Mind Over Matter and Stroke of Genius and Intuition. And Tolarian
Hey, look,
Academy.
we'll take Key.
Yeah. Now, if you listen to a recent episode of the Mana Pool, we talked about a bunch of these cards it was the history of the Ban Hammer Part 1. And we talked about all these cards that were later banned in Standard and or Extended and or Legacy. It was just awful.
But Chewie, how fast can you ban a card?
Well, now that you mention it, there's the Memory Jar deck.
Which is here.
Yep.
Oh, it's messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what Megrim does? Like, I think most people have made a Megrim deck at some point. Maybe not recently because I haven't printed it in a while, but essentially Megrim and similar effects, like there's a Liliana version of it and everything. When an opponent discards a card, it deals 2 damage to them. So it's like, oh cool, my discard deck can now do something to hurt people. Awesome. So what's the most efficient way to make someone discard a lot of cards?
Oh,
Probably.
that would be like Memory Jar, pretty much.
Memory Jar.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen this card, which is understandable, Memory Jar costs 5. It's an artifact, obviously. Tap it and sacrifice the jar. Each player exiles all cards from his or her hand face down and then draws 7 cards. Cool. At the beginning of the next end step, each player discards his or her hand and returns the cards that he or she exiled this way. So that's a pay 5 mana, tap. Cool. You do this on your turn when your opponent can't cast sorceries or play lands or do any of that. End of turn, they're going to take 14.
Yep. And yeah, this card we got it slightly wrong on the episode. There was one tournament, an extended Grand Prix, where Memory Jar was legal. And it was so brutal and so busted and so broken that they added. So back then, when there was a banned and restricted list update, there were 30 days before it went into effect. So they were like, here's what's going to be banned in a month. Because this was before the internet sped everything up, let's say. So they're like, here's what's going to be banned in a month. And Urza's Legacy came out and this extended Grand Prix happened, and they were like, we're gonna go back and add Memory Jar to that ban and restricted list update. It's sort of similar to what they did with the Felidar Guardian, except there was actually an event that happened and things were bad.
Yeah.
And then somebody broke something. Is everybody okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
I don't think extended's okay.
No, it's not. Next up we've got Tinker. With, this is John Finkel and Bob Maher's deck from Worlds in 2000.
Metalworker.
Yeah, Metalworker, Phyrexian Colossus, Tinker, a bunch of those mana rocks that we mentioned earlier, Phyrexian Processor. Yeah, it's,
Just love that they put Voltaic Key out in a set with all of these make mana tap artifacts.
Yeah, they were not really good at this sort of thing. Right after this was when they started hiring former pros to come work in R&D, and they really started looking hard at what they had done and how to fix it. Yeah. Next up we've got, Guy's Cradle Stompy.
Stompy.
Oh god. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. Lots of cards creatures that just look stupid.
Yeah.
Elvish Lyrist. Pouncing Jaguar, Uktabi Orangutan with the sex monkeys on it, Albino Troll, River Boa, Wild Dogs. When you look at these cards, you're like, they're not that great. But then it's running Overrun and Rancor and Gaia's Cradle.
Gaia's Cradle. Hey, Cluze, how do you feel about Gaia's Cradle?
Hey, that card has never been broken or capable of broken things in any way. Oh, okay, actually it is.
So broken.
Yeah, it's kind of good.
Yeah. All these cards, you just vomit them onto the board and then you win.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of dudes. Make them go.
And they go.
Yeah. Hey, something they don't really do anymore?
Yeah.
Land destruction.
Yeah.
And I think this deck might be part of why. Jamie Park and Mark Lapine made top 8 of Worlds running this deck, which has Pillage, Stone Rain, and Avalanche Riders. So imagine a land destruction spell that's also a 2/2 with haste. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And that's the one that I mentioned before where Mog Fanatic doesn't work the way it used to. So
no.
If you're looking at the deck now, you're like, why is this here? Once upon a time, it had this ridiculous thing where it would block something and then sacrifice to ping that or something else, and it would still deal that first damage, and the thing would still be blocked and everything. It was way more effective than it should be when you're just looking at it.
Yes, with damage on the stack, I will sacrifice my Mog Fanatic.
Yeah, I would say ask your parents, but don't.
Yeah.
It was a dumb time. That was a large portion of the game's history, and every player had a feels bad moment when someone did it to them because it makes no sense. It's just like, wait, you did what? But it's dead. Why is it still hurting my creature? This is stupid. And eventually WotC agreed and got rid of that.
Yep. We went in depth on that episode of the Mana Pool 2 when we were talking about Loxodon Hierarch.
Ew.
No, wait, that was this last episode. We did a Mythic Conscription for Original Ravnica.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And we realized part of the reason that Loxodon Hierarch was so good was because of damage on the stack. Yeah. Next up in the throwback combo winter nonsense here, we have John Finkel's Napster deck. Which,
You can ask your parents what Napster is.
yeah, that's fine. But it's just,
Yeah, please do.
it's essentially mono black aggro creatures with Dark Ritual, Vampiric Tutor, and then a whole mess of hate cards. And ways to get hate cards back with Yawgmoth's Will. Cause
Yep, tutor anything up.
what's better than one use of a single hate card? Doing it again.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And then speaking of Yawgmoth's things, we have Yawgmoth's Bargain. The quote-unquote fixed Necropotence.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. That ran Academy Rector and Yawgmoth's Will.
Yawgmoth's Bargain is an excellent example of what happens when you don't actually playtest. Like, I have a lot of trouble believing this was playtested ever.
Well, you see, it's Necro, right? And so it's way better than Necro because you get the card right now. So how do we balance that? Oh, we'll just make it cost twice as much. It'll be fine. And then Academy Rector.
Great.
Where Academy Rector dies and you go get Yawgmoth's Bargain and throw it onto the battlefield and draw some cards and win some games.
Just for giggles, let's give you 4 Dark Rituals and 4 Vampiric Tutors just to smooth that out.
Yeah. But even now it has things that look funny like Soul Feast.
Yeah. It's not as exciting as it used to be.
Yeah.
But you need that life because it's 4 cards.
Yeah. And then we have, I think this is the last one. Yep, the Accelerated Blue deck, which used some of these,
Superman.
Use Grim Monolith, really, to get out an early Morphling and then own the game until you died.
Morphling's messed up.
Yeah. Like, okay, so you have to remember, way back when, creatures in Magic were terrible compared to spells. That's just how it was.
Yes.
The spells ruled the world.
This is part of the reason why people considered blue to be the best for the longest period of time.
Yeah, because, sorry Cluze, but it was. Like,
Yeah, there's no swearing on Monday Night Magic, so I'm not saying anything.
fair enough. And then they printed Morphling, who, by today's standards, is only pretty good, you know. But at the time, like, this card was called Superman. Because it's really good.
It flies, you can't kill it because it can give itself Shroud.
Yep.
It untaps, which is relevant if you're attacking or defending with it, and it's a great attacker and defender because it scales power and toughness, essentially letting it shift everywhere from being a 1/5 to a 5/1. So it's like, oh, attack you in the air with my 5/1. You try to kill it, give it Shroud. Cool. Now on next turn, untap it if I need to. Like, you just get to spend all your mana on that, and if you don't need to use it, well, you're running 16 instants. You got other stuff to do. Like,
Yeah.
The blue deck has all the world in front of it. It's nasty.
And it can get as big as it wants on toughness. Like,
Yeah.
-1,
It can have
+1,
negative power.
It can go all the way to, 8, 10 asses, depending on how much mana you have. Not that was ever an issue, but still, because creatures were terrible. Oh, and it also had Palancron for, the old, wait, did it have the infinite mana trick? None of these lands make more than 1 mana. Oh, that's weird. Oh, but with Grim Monolith, you could tap 4 of them again to untap the Grim Monolith. No, that doesn't actually, I guess.
That's not going to net you anything.
Oh well, I'm not gonna sit here and do the math. But still, Morphling and Masticore were just insane.
Yeah.
So those are your...
Can you imagine if they tried to print Treachery now?
Dude, Treachery was messed up.
Yeah.
A control
Treachery
magic that untaps 5 lands?
Yeah. Like, I'm going to take your guy, and also I'm going to have all my mana up.
Yeah, the entire untapping lands thing was just stupid. And they have since realized it not long after the set was released that, what have we done?
Yeah, have you ever, I guess the entire takeaway from this throwback standard gauntlet is, if you want to see why the people who were playing Magic a long time ago look back fondly to a terrible point in Magic, watch them play this and get excited, and then watch them play it 10 minutes later and hate it. It's like, oh man, the deck was so cool. It was so powerful. They just forgot that it was miserable. Because this is before they knew better. This is early Magic at its most ridiculous.
Like, literally. Like I said, not long after this is when they started completely reworking the way they did R&D, and they started hiring former Magic pros.
Yeah.
Like Randy Buehler.
Yeah, like the whole thing with like Felidar Guardian combo not being caught is kind of embarrassing at this point because they go through so much trouble to avoid this. But back then, that's just what happened. They just made cards and then like, oh, oops. We've gotten a lot better about that for us to have only had so relatively few standard bannings in the last 5 to 10 years. There you go. If you want to play that in Magic Online, it'll be running for a week starting Wednesday. When you play Gauntlets, you essentially end up with one of these decks in Phantom, so like you don't get to keep the cards, but you do get to play them with their respective sideboards and everything against the other decks from here. The link in the show notes will tell you all the cost and tickets and play points and all that stuff. Go have fun with it, I guess.
The last thing that Randy Buehler said in his intro here is, no holds will be barred in this gauntlet and no apologies will be made. The decks here are brutal weapons and patently unfair on multiple axes.
Yeah.
Good luck and have fun.
Yeah. It's like we all know what this is.
Which, to be fair, if everyone is playing a busted-ass broken deck,
yeah,
then that means really no one is playing a busted-ass broken deck, right?
That is just the format.
Yeah.
Welcome to the metagame of suffering. Don't make that the show title. People will get the wrong idea about what this Pro Tour is about.
Damn it, I was just about to go add that. Okay, never mind.
No,
that would be very misleading. At any rate, and finally I've got just linked in here, the Magic Online format challenges are something that they're going to be doing every weekend. As it says here, format challenges are designed to be big events with prizes for top performers that make people interested in acquiring cards and building decks for these formats. So essentially, each of the constructed formats of Modern, Vintage, 1v1 Commander, Legacy, and Pauper are going to have events going on each weekend. Note that I didn't say Standard because it's actually for the non-rotating constructed format. Standard has its own nonsense going on. So you can get the specifications and how all this works off the link in the show notes. They've got prizes. It begins the coming weekend of May 20 to 21. So go check that out if you're interested. And that's pretty much it for Magic Online. So go have fun. Are we done forever?
Well, I was apparently forever, right? I feel like there might be a show next week too.
Possibly. So then, I guess that is it for Monday Night Magic this week. How about some wrap-up stuff, you guys? Okay. You can follow me on Twitter at Squee. I couldn't make it here today because it saw that gauntlet and was like, nah, and then it ran away. And I really don't blame it. Maybe it's hiding with Fibblethip somewhere safe. But that said, you can find me there on Twitter. You can also find me at Animazement, and not this weekend, but next weekend in Raleigh, North Carolina. It is the biggest anime convention in North Carolina. I'm going to be running some programming there, and I'll obviously be attending. So if you're going to go, let me know on Twitter. We can meet up and hang out. I haven't really decided what I'm doing each day, but I'm probably going to be in an Ozpin from Ruby costume on Friday. So I'll be in a big green suit, possibly with cookies. And on Saturday, I'm going to be a Shiv Lizard. So I'm going to be a Master Tonberry. It'll be fun. Weird and fun. And that's about it for finding me right now. So yeah, other than that, over the next week, theoretically, there'll be another Overwatch event. So might show up on Chewie's stream, but he can tell you about that in a moment. Cluze, I know where I can find you on Friday, but maybe you should sign off.
Yeah. So speaking of which, folks out there who might be interested, there is this place. It's called Atomic Empire. It's in Durham, North Carolina. It's a great shop. You should check it out. And you know what? I'm going to go check it out myself this coming Friday, May the 19th. I will be at Atomic Empire for FNM. And if enough of us show up with legacy decks, we can get them to fire a legacy FNM. So that's my goal. So come on out to Atomic Empire in Durham, North Carolina. It's a great shop. You should check it out. And we will play some legacy. Look, even if not enough people show up for legacy to fire, I'm bringing a legacy deck. I'm going to play some legacy. Come hang out. It'll be awesome. We'll have fun.
Hey, you know what? That sounds like so much fun. I think I will go too.
Hey, that's great. So, hey, Chewie will be there too. So you can meet me. You can meet Chewie. We can hang out. We can chat.
No, that sounds pretty fun. Maybe I'll go too.
Fantastic. You can meet the whole Monday Night Magic crew up from the internet. We will gladly gladly say hi. You can ruin your visions of what we look like altogether. Sorry.
I mean, mine's already been ruined. I'm sure I have a YouTube channel now.
Yeah, that's true. You do.
My plan is to wear a bow tie and impersonate Cluze.
Excellent. Good choice.
Wait, is Jen going to be there?
Yeah, she will.
Yeah, my plan is to wear a bow tie and impersonate Cluze.
My plan is to wear a bow tie and impersonate Cluze.
Oh, that's fair.
Single white female.
Except she's married.
Anyway, so there you go. If you want to hear more from me, in theory, look, we will record some more random discards soon. I'm trying to move, and Rich has twins. So, soon? That's the best I can tell you. It's all I got. If you want to reach me directly, your best bet is to be at Atomic Empire in Durham, North Carolina. It's a great shop. You should check it out this coming Friday, because I'll be there. Otherwise, you can find me on the Twitters. I am at Lacluyze, spelled just like it is in the show notes. That's all I have. Chewie, off to you.
Pressure. You put me on the spot. I don't know. Chewie.
Just say mana pool over and over and over again.
Mana pool. Yes.
.com.
Yes. You can come to themanapool.com for all of the backlog of the Mana Pool podcast. Yay. I'm also on YouTube with the video games, including Magic Duels, Amonkhet, Overwatch, Injustice, Shovel Knight, Rogue Legacy, assorted others. You know, eventually. Hearthstone. There's something else that I've played recently that... Oh, no, I guess there really isn't. That's all I've played for the last month or so. Cool. I'm also on Twitch, where I play, well, whatever, really. This Saturday we did Heroes of the Storm and then Overwatch. Earlier in the week I was playing... What did I play? Guts and Glory, followed by Bit Trip Runner 2. So there's no telling what you'll find on the Twitch channel. And I'm a Twitch affiliate now, so you can come hang out and follow, and if you feel like it, you can throw some bits at me. Yay, bits. And if not, that's cool. You could just hang out. Cause we have fun there. Cause I'm not a big enough channel to have enough, people there for the requisite number of Twitch chat douchebags. Which is nice. Right, guys?
Right.
There we go. Close enough. Also on the YouTube channel, you can find Monday Night Magic and the Mana Pool in case you don't want to fool with the audio thing. Yeah. I guess that's it, though. Oh, you can find me on Twitter at the Mana Pool, or if you like, you can send me an email to Chewie, that's CHEWIE, at mtgcast.com, or at themanapool.com. They both go to the same place. Yeah. And of course, if you want to help support what I do with all of these media, I know that's grammatically correct, but it sounds wrong. You guys are no help.
Zing!
I don't know what I'm supposed to say there.
I don't either. It just doesn't say all these media. Like I know, like I said, grammatically that's what you're supposed to say. It just sounds wrong. But anyway, with all the YouTubing and the Twitching and the podcasting and all that, if you want to help support me there, you can check out Patreon. I have to cough.
You can find all this crazy stuff about Chewie at the Mana Pool.
Sorry, I was hoping to hold that in until I got done, but it didn't happen. Luckily,
yeah, and I tried not saying anything so the truncate silence would do its jam.
Excuse me. So, what was I saying right? If you want to help support what I do with all that, you can go to patreon.com/themanapool, where you can get YouTube videos and Mana Pool episodes early if you like. If you like, you can get the early stuff and get the odds and ends, all of the behind the scenes nonsense that is recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Mana Pool. They're uncensored, unfiltered, and just us talking about stuff. Whether we're figuring out what we're talking about on the show or talking about movies and comic books and cartoons that we've read and loved, or making fun of things that don't make it into the show, or if we have a guest host, shooting the breeze with them. Just whatever. Or if you want, you can get the early stuff, the odds and ends, and get your name on the end screen for all the videos that go up in each month that you support at that level. Excuse me, I'm trying real hard not to cough again. And, as always, every little bit helps, and I really do appreciate it. At the next tier, I'm going to, like the next Patreon tier, I'm going to upgrade, like the Patreon total tier, I'm going to upgrade my internet and finally break down and get a bigger hard drive so that I can not have to constantly juggle hard drive space. Constantly. All the time. But anyway. So enough of that. With that, we'll be done. So if you want to help support Magic podcasting in general, but not me specifically, that's totally cool. You can go to mtgcast.com, click on the support MTGcast button, and fill out your stuff there for a small monthly donation, because while MTGcast is completely free for all of you users and completely free for all of us podcasters, it is not actually completely free and actually costs quite a bit every month. And I'm sure they appreciate it. Yay! So now we're gonna be gone. So this has been Monday Night Magic number 560. As always, thanks to Squee and Cluze for joining me.
Excelsior.
Excelsior. And seriously, come out to Atomic Empire Friday night and we'll hang out. Cause I'm not gonna be playing.
Where is that?
It's in Durham, North Carolina. I hear it's a great shop and you should check it out.
There you go.
It's near the Toys R Us.
Yes, we will be the ones there apparently eating, maybe Chinese food. Maybe.
Possibly. Yeah.
We will see.
But maybe not. So, with that, we'll be done. So thank you all so very much for listening, and, go play some Magic.